Welcome back to Tuna Blue, episode 46. I am your host, John Flounder Caruso, here with co-host Stevie D. DeStefano, and the brains behind the operation, DJ Lou, editor-producer, always making the magic happen because we don't have brains. We are recording from Energy Defender Studio called Energy Defenders for all your solar and roofing needs. Steve, I've been pondering. I had a thought.
Okay.
And I've been thinking a little like you, and this scared me.
Oh, I'm getting you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
You're starting to get it. You're starting to augment into
Get
my
those
brain.
wheels spinning, dude. Yeah.
The timeline. BC AD. So the deadline in the middle, right, is the birth of Christ. He lived for basically what? They guesstimated 33 years, and then he was crucified. So you always hear about these stories, right? Like happened in 547 AD, whatever BC. How come you never hear of like year 46 AD? Like, did nothing happen?
That's a great point.
Like, you always hear like these about these Romans and
when did that happen?
BC.
10?
Like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, like I feel like some of these are like, okay, so right before the birth of Christ, like I feel like them years leading up to that would be pretty significant, right?
I'm sure there's people out there. I guess nothing significant happened that are like that's in the history books or things that we.
I just feel like only like a few significant things happened, and it was like, like 4000 BC or
yeah,
like it's crazy.
You know what blows my mind is that like Aristotle, Socrates, Plato, the what's that book he wrote? The Republic,
Atlantis,
the Republic. Plato's The Republic is the second best-selling book next to the Bible.
He's the one that says that he knows where the lost city of Atlantis is.
Plato?
Yeah. He has a coordinates.
Do you know
Am I right?
It's one of those guys.
It's Plato.
Like talked about Atlantis.
Yeah, and he had the lost city of Atlantis, and he actually had coordinates to where he believed it was.
Do you know those books, those philosophers existed like hundreds of years before Christ? Isn't that wild?
Hey, yeah, it is. Did they really?
Yeah.
Socrates? Oh yeah. Socrates?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Socrates was Aristotle's student, I think.
Still
or
Socrates.
The other way around. But yeah, that just it boggles my mind that those guys were like all before Christ.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a great point. What happened in year like 10?
Yeah,
like 11.
Right. Like yeah, what happened in like 10 BC, 24 BC?
I guess they weren't partying hard enough. Then.
Right.
No one heard about. You don't hear about nothing until they start partying, and then you get war and all that.
You know
fun
when
stuff.
they were talking about the lost city of Atlantis. You know they said there's one theory that the city of Atlantis was very, you're gonna like this, from the future, and that the entire city just it didn't sink, it vanished, it took off and went to another planet.
Maybe that was the civilization that existed
Before.
in year like 3 billion BC.
But this goes back to some of the shit you talk about, like, and I'm sitting going, Jesus Christmas, I'm thinking just like fucking Steve right now.
No, it's cool to connect those dots and like kind of theorize.
Right, because even like they were saying, like no one's actually seen it, the lost city of Atlantis. They think they know where it's at. No one's ever found it. The other theory is that they think it was a very futuristic, that had technology be far beyond what we know or we believe in, and that it just it knew that that this tsunami was coming, because what everybody thinks also happened was a big earthquake, a tsunami, and it got covered by all the sand, mud, and it's buried. Or they knew this was coming, and the whole city just up and in the space. Because I'm not saying that there's aliens, but there's aliens.
So wait, so Atlantis,
Right, Lou?
all I ever hear about is the lost city of Atlantis. I don't ever hear like any backstory about it or anything like that. Like, did they have eyes on this place for a while, and then one day they just like showed up to Atlantis, and they're like, "Where's Atlantis at?"
I'm curious. I'm very curious about this now because I saw it, so I want to watch more about it. You're right.
What if you come home to Hamilton's just gone, like the lost city of Hamilton?
Lost city of Hamilton. Well, we wouldn't be lost. We live in Hamilton, so we would go wherever it went.
What if you're not home though when it goes? And then you just come out, it's like a desert. Like,
Right.
What the fuck, dude?
I went to work, I
Yeah.
came home, and all of a sudden,
Where's
what's
my
going
shit?
on? What the
Yeah.
fuck's happening?
Ah,
Jeez, the blueberry fields are going
Yeah,
and everything.
everything.
It's just dirt.
nothing. Lost town of Hamilton.
Ah.
So, dude, we're both in we both find ourselves in one of those super feel good situations where it's Thursday
Mhm.
and you get canceled for Friday on a Thursday.
Hmm.
Is there like anything better?
That is actually a great thing when you know, especially if you've been working pretty good, right? And you had it's a hot week, and all of a sudden it's rained out, and they tell you that night, like, oh yeah, guys, nothing tomorrow. Oh, it's like,
It's the best.
oh, out of
3-day weekend.
It could be a hurricane. I don't care. If I get that 3-day weekend.
All right, so this brings me to my next thing is like I want to do like your top 3 best things that could happen to you in construction.
Go. Okay.
Number 1.
All right. Boy, this is tough. So we already said the rain day off, which is which is like
It's the best.
It's especially on a Friday.
best.
On a Friday.
On a Friday.
Yeah.
Friday rain day. Wednesday rain day is not that great.
You have one. Go ahead.
Yeah. So okay. While we're talking about rain days,
Mm-hmm.
do you, like before they had weather apps, and you had to just look at the sky, right? Do you remember like you're like, oh, it looks like it might rain.
Yeah. Right.
How was there any better feeling than like being at work? It's 1 billion degrees outside. You're hungover, and all of a sudden, dude, it just opens.
Yes.
up, dude.
You're run to the trucks.
And you get this
wrap
sign.
it up.
Yeah, wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
Oh my god,
yes.
dude! There ain't
That is-
nothing better.
That is a good one. Wrap it up. Yeah, that's yeah. God, I'm tired. You know what? I'll tell you. Like, I hate to say this because of contractors, but when say it's a Monday and you don't feel even like being, how Mondays drag, and something stupid happens, and they're like, they're canceling the job.
The plant broke down.
The plant broke down.
Yes!
See ya.
You just got like 3 miles ahead of you.
So
Yeah.
there's one. The plant
Yeah.
broke down. That's a great one
Yeah.
for me. It's like something happened with the job, or the inspector came. Here, one of my favorite, right, is when you know damn right well the traffic ain't going to be set up right, and you have state troopers out there that know what they're talking about, and they're like, yeah, no,
See ya.
get off the road.
Yeah.
And that, I'm like, you're like, yes. And
Right there.
oh, you got a baby now,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I had to build 5 Windmasters before I got here, so
Did you? You're right. Yeah.
sorry, dude. Yeah. Yeah. So we're doing a lot of talking about like just not working.
Mhm.
Like,
Right.
the best thing that can happen is you don't work.
Pretty much.
How about when you get a truck, a take-home truck?
I love that.
That's
too.
a great feeling.
I got
Like you've been working a place for a while, and they're like, and they give you a truck.
that is
Great feeling.
Great feeling because you're not using your own gas. And on the type, see, what goes up my ass is guys that get trucks and they're fucking destroyed. Like, I at least clean up the trash in the truck. Like, to me, I look at that as like my mobile office.
Yeah.
Like, I have it clean at all time. Like every Friday, if I have a truck on now, it'll get cleaned every single Friday. I'll bring it down, Richards, and do the pressure wash shit. I'll sweep it out. I'll make sure it smells good. And I organize shit too. Like I'll put like organizers in there so I can put rags, toilet paper. They're just the basic shit that you wouldn't have available to you if you were just bringing your truck and you had to park it somewhere. So yeah, having a truck is great.
I don't like when people forget that it's like not their personal vehicle,
Right.
and they're like, "Oh, it's my truck. Where are you taking my truck?"
Yeah.
Like,
No.
"Oh, I'm taking the company truck exactly where the company told me to take it.
Right.
That's where I'm taking it." Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I thought I mentioned a couple there.
All right. I got another one.
All right.
How about one of those days where they're like, we need someone to drive for the poly guys.
Oh yeah.
And you're just in the air conditioner driving 1 mile an hour,
Mhm.
just straight run.
Or yeah. Or here's another great one, right? You're on one of them. You've been on these backwood roads and you've just been jackhammering, right? And like it gets like maybe Wednesday or Thursday, like, listen, tomorrow they need a crash truck driver to go to go pace or something like that. It's going to be you don't even all you got to do is stay in the crash truck. You're going to just stay behind the crew. You're like,
Depends on the crash truck.
that's true too.
There's some bad crash
But
trucks.
even but anything beats being out there shoveling or jackhammering asphalt. Oh yeah.
Or like you're out there and then they're like, oh, we need a new inlet grate. Yo, can you run you run a bridge state?
I'll go get it.
No problem.
I'll go get it.
You're like gone before I tell you
I'm
what to
already
get.
in the truck going. I'll go get
Just
it.
text me. It's fine.
100%. That's another great one. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Anything like that. Yo, you know what? Can you run back to the yard?
Yeah.
Hey, listen. Why don't you grab a list and get break? Okay.
That's a good one.
That's
a
another
good
great.
one. I don't like the coffee orders. Like, can we talk about coffee orders?
Yeah.
How about the guys who are like, oh, half cappuccino, half hot chocolate,
You make the dumb things.
with a pinch of 2%.
Right.
Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. You want me to what?
You want a coffee?
What am I, a barista?
Yeah. Listen, I want some French vanilla, and then you know what?
Get the Colombian,
Right.
half decaf.
Right.
Like, shut the fuck up,
I
bro.
go, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Coffee. Got it.
Yeah.
And then you want coffee? Yeah. Give me coffee. Check. And I come back with all black coffees and a bag of creamer and a bag of sugars.
Get me a classic Italian toasted roll, not the whole thing, just the roll. Light mayo, not full mayo, light mayo, little vinegar, little oil.
Yeah.
You know?
Like what the fuck would you want? What?
American cheese and provolone cheese. You know? I'm like, shut the fuck
What
up,
do you-
dude.
What do you think
What are you talking about?
We have a fucking restaurant.
Just fucking eat.
How about a ham sandwich? How about something simple?
God forbid,
how about
dude.
how about the old regular, just good old butter roll?
My God, bro, they showed up on a job. I was on a job one time. They showed up with like 3 bags full of just McDonald's hamburgers, no cheese, nothing, just hamburgers. Bro, it was like we hit the lottery.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Right.
No one was like, I have any pickles on my hamburger. It was,
Right.
You just fucking eat it.
You just eat
eat it.
Mhm.
All right. I digress.
I digress.
All right. So we officially have our first driverless trucks running their first regular long haul routes from Dallas to Houston and back.
I give up. I hope they're successful. I don't know what to say. Every time I go against this, I say it's going to fit, and they just it keeps moving forward. I don't believe in it. Especially that it's taken away from work. It's taken away from drivers. You're going to now threaten Teamsters. We'll throw in our area Teamsters. They're going to threaten the union. That's threatening their union jobs.
The unions. I mean, I don't know how strong the union is in Texas, but the union reps for the drivers are the ones putting up the fight, saying it's not safe to be fully automated. My question is, is there something that you can do as far as state legislation goes to prevent this AI from just taking over people's jobs?
I would think so. I would think it. I would. I don't know how much of a federal level that's on, but if it could be passed down to the states, and then the states are.
Well, states, I think they have the right. I mean, look at the cannabis. You know what I mean?
Right.
You could go to prison in Oklahoma for pot-related crimes.
I would think. I would hope certain states or any state could say, yeah, we don't want that here.
So I think it's time right now for people to start fighting for that. Like, find an elected official that is behind that and do it. Like, find elected officials that are going to put ordinances in the state that are going to prevent these kind of things from happening.
It's going to kill.
Or we are going to lose our jobs.
It's going to kill the over the road truckers. Yeah. That initially is going to kill over the road truckers.
And look, if you are a teacher and you're not concerned about it, think about how many real estate agents there are. And let's use New Jersey for example. How many drivers in New Jersey? I don't know the actual number, but there's a lot of drivers in New Jersey. There's a lot of real estate agents in New Jersey. There's a lot of accountants in New Jersey. There's a lot of jobs in New Jersey that they are very, very, very soon going to start rolling out some AI. And all those people are not going to have a job, and they're going to be looking for new jobs. So if you think you're safe because of your profession, there is going to be a surplus of qualified people with good heads on their shoulders, people that are good workers, that are smart, that are be coming for your job. And it's going to be very competitive, very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, like how Hamilton, for example, they put an ordinance in years ago, no cannabis in this town of Hamilton, right?
Mhm.
So if the town of Hamilton, right, New Jersey is saying it's legal, but the town of Hamilton is saying no, no cannabis. Can you scale that up to the New Jersey level, and New Jersey can put an ordinance in like no AI, no more TurboTax, no more automated vehicles, no more, like, we are not going to allow AI into our state.
Yeah,
we're
I
going to
would
protect our jobs. We're going to protect our people.
I think they should. Yes, I think that should be I think somebody should be fighting for that.
Yeah.
It's very good.
So what happens if you have a truck coming from Texas that's to be delivered in New Jersey and it can't cross the border now?
Oh, you see,
Right. You got, but now you're creating a job for warehouses,
So I'm
because
wondering
you can
if-
have these automated vehicles come to Philly.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if these vehicles right now are just in a certain area doing this.
They're rolling it out from Dallas to Houston. How can we? I'll do it.
Okay, so it is only in Texas right now, and it's only between Dallas to Houston.
Yeah, it is 240 miles.
Round trip.
So this
or
thing,
one
no,
way?
it's 500 miles. It's 480 miles round trip,
Mm-hmm.
and they're letting these semis go with no driver.
It's not. I don't know how.
And
it's
this
safe.
isn't even.
I mean, you do have these driverless cars now that are like taxis and shit.
They're in Arizona and Texas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and to me, I'm like, these things. I'm just waiting for the accident, and it just doesn't happen.
No, it's probably safer. I mean, if every single vehicle on the road was hooked into the same network, there would never be an accident, because they're all on the same GPS. They all know exactly where the other one is. They're all there. But you're taking, like, people out of the world. Like, you're that hurts.
You're dumbifying people is what you're doing.
Well, kind of.
Like, what if you never had to learn how to drive?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably not great
So-
for your motor skills. I mean,
Absolutely
I mean, like, if you live in New York City,
and then you want to go jump on a tractor.
yeah, but you live in New York City, you don't have to learn how to drive. And if you are live on a farm, like, you learn how to drive a tractor when you're 8. So,
All right.
but like, so you don't have to learn how to drive, like, but you're taking away a lot of professions.
Sure.
And I'm just wondering, like when's the time that we start, like,
Well, it should already be, because you're right. Because where does this stop at? You're starting with the trucks. Now what? Equipment. I mean, listen. You have GPS that now does all the grading. But
Absolutely.
what happens when there's no operator for the equipment now?
You're not going to need sensor guys. You're not going to need board guys very soon. I mean, they probably have the technology now. It's just like through the roof. Like, who knows?
Yeah, right.
But you probably don't need it now. But they could put the same GPS in these pieces of equipment that, like, the cars have, so they'll know the roads.
Right.
And then all you have to do is kind of enter in, like, the grades. Like, so when the state goes out and they have, like, the surveyors come out and they do the grades of the road, they just digitize that and install it into the machinery, and it would be able to just run by itself. Just turn it on. Like, we're at the end joint. You're at this mile, whatever. You're at this post. Go. Like, and in the mill, like, even if you have to change the grade of the road dramatically, it would be able to do it with pinpoint precision.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which isn't good for us.
No.
It's great for the road.
That's the point, right? That's the point. I mean,
Yeah.
you're going to start. It's going to start. You see it already. Well, you've seen the start of it was basically the registers, right? You could just self check out registers.
Yeah,
Well,
they
now that's that was like
Yeah.
probably one of the original things
Yeah.
that started taking away from just simple minimum wage jobs that high school kids or whatever could be doing. And then, and then they want to check your receipt afterwards anyhow. After they just made you work, now they want to check your receipt.
The self-register thing is fine. I get, like, they're not, like, it would be the difference between a self-register and, like, robotics taking over jobs is like a robot stocking shelves in the middle of the night. Like, you take all that night shift away and it's just robots just redoing the pricing. I mean, which is definitely going to happen.
And that is the problem with this so far. When you get too far ahead of technology, you're actually hurting society. At certain points, you're going to start hurting the people.
And I'm wondering, like there are such a few amount of people that stand to gain anything from it. Like, you'll start to hear, like, oh, they're so safe. There's no more accidents. There's no more fatalities. And that's the message they're going to send.
Right.
That's the message they're going to send.
But the real message is they want to get paid.
But the state. So the states are are chomping at the bits for this to happen, I think, because what's going to happen is the profit margins are going to go through like the price to the consumer is not going to go down, right? Like these semi trucks from Houston to Dallas, that freight's not costing these logistic companies any less money to haul the freight.
Right.
So there's one person who's in charge of the company that is benefiting from it, right? Because he's not paying labor costs, which is a huge cost. He's not paying payroll. He's not paying workers' compensation. He's not. I mean, his insurance is probably like lower because of it. It's probably helping him a ton.
The rich just got richer.
The rich are getting richer. And what's going to happen is when enough of these companies do this and the profit margins are, the state is now going to say, we want more money. And now the state's going to make more money. And so that's why the states are all going to be behind it. Look at California. Look at the cannabis industry. Look at how much that like the state of California cut into the profits of these dispensaries, manufacturers, and growers by vast margins. Like they're saying it's you could hardly make any money at all in California in the cannabis industry because the state of California just is taking more and more and more and more. It's going to happen in New Jersey. They're giving it an 8 to 13 year window. And eventually what's going to happen is the federal government is just going to legalize it, and then big pharma, big tobacco, or a combination of both, they're going to come in.
And then the feds are going to want their taxes on it. And it's
it's only a matter of time.
Wants the hand in it, right? And so if people in California, right, so you're voting a certain way, and you voted for all this, and hey, oh my God, they're going to legalize marijuana. Great, let's vote for them. And now all of a sudden they legalize marijuana, so people start putting these cannabis things out there. And then all of a sudden, bam, you're getting hit. Do you still vote for the same people?
Right. And you can't cross states with it. Like, it's not like they could buy it from New Jersey,
right,
where we're getting it. Like, so their price is, like, what they're doing it for is now going up. So, like, all their overhead is now way up.
Right.
So if they bought it from New Jersey to sell it in California, they could increase their profit margins. But there's no variable expenses there because everything has to be in California, which is great for the economy. But the state of California is the one getting all the money now.
Yeah.
And that's exactly
what's going to happen.
It's going to be the same thing with the II. It's going to be the same exact thing.
Yeah, they'll push for it because then they're going to dip their hands into it.
Yeah, exactly. And I really hope that we get some leaders in states, in municipalities, at the federal government level that can forecast it, that can see this. And like look, dude, if the federal government and the military wants to use AI and stuff, like, go for it, dude.
Yeah, right.
Don't stop creating it.
No.
You know what I mean? Use it. Like, I don't want to fall behind other countries because, like, we want the job, but, like, you don't have to roll it out to the public.
No,
it
doesn't have. No, exactly.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Yeah, and well, speaking of, big time politics getting behind stuff, Sweeney, I think it was Sweeney was on, not Sweeney, O'Brien.
I saw that.
The Teamsters with the tariff.
Yep.
And he got openly supported Trump doing that, so it helps bring back, because obviously they're part of the Teamsters union.
I think he's a genius.
Who's that?
I think I came up with a theory about Sean O'Brien because, like, I was, like, so perplexed that, like, he's like, oh, I'm pro right to work state. Like, at a state level, he's saying at a state level, like, if that's what the state wants, then that's what the state gets, like Virginia, for example, right to work state. But you could organize in Virginia to make it not a right to go put a leader in place to make it not a right to work state.
Right.
So he's saying, like, I'm in support of he's saying things that are, like, really taking union people aback. Right. He's at the Trump rallies. He's speaking at the conventions.
Right.
He's pro-Trump right now. I almost think, dude, I would not be surprised if this guy makes a play to get into to be like the Democratic leader to rise up and to go for the presidential election.
It could be. I mean, listen, if they want any shot, they need somebody.
He's making friends everywhere.
Well, because you have to be the person that's going to listen to both sides.
Yeah. And he's not appealing to, like, the 5%, like, super far left liberal, like, agenda. He's a common sense guy. If it makes sense to him, he's okay with it. Like, I'm starting to think he's doing it as, like, as a play for a political play.
It could be.
And I really think he is, and I think he's playing it right. I do.
That would be the way to play it.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, the problem with the world are your radicals on both sides, your radical lefts and your radical rights. It's just, there's no there's no talking to these people.
No.
So you have to present yourself as somebody more in between, as saying, I'm listening to you, I'm listening to you, I hear you, let's try to do something that's best for everybody. And but you're also talking to both sides, right? So you're making friends, you're getting out there. That's what people want. You got to hit more on a personal level. When you start pounding the politics, you're shutting people down.
Yeah. I'm going to make a real hard push to get a hold of Sean O'Brien or someone affiliated with him,
That would
because
be great.
I really, really want to hear about what's going on.
Yeah.
With the Teamsters, because I think he's doing it right. Like, he's fighting Amazon, and he's like pro-Trump. It's like it's insane what he's doing. I like him.
Right. And I mean, listen, even if he is a Democrat, maybe he knows that, listen, I don't like what Trump does all the time, but there are certain things I can get on board with that can benefit the Teamsters. What a novel idea.
Yeah. All right. So I guess that's enough about politics for now. Let's talk about our sponsors.
I'll take a little quick break for the sponsors. Absolutely. Let me introduce Helmets to Hardhats. Helmets to Hardhats is your gateway if you are a veteran and you want to come out and you're looking for good union trade work to make some great money and have a good career. Helmets to Hardhats is the way to do it. Contact Helmets to Hardhats today if you are a veteran and you want to work in the union trades.
Let's be frank. For all the espresso martini, the best espresso martini you could possibly imagine. He just came out with a limoncello martini, and the Bloody Mary mix is just fantastic. I can't talk about it enough. Franks-way.com. And if you're in a buying or selling your house game right now, you gotta call Dave Birnbaum. He's the best in the business. Buy with Burn.
Buy with Burn.
Oh, and I also wanted to shout out Fat John.
Fat John.
I went there. It's this spot in I'm working in we started the Burlington County road program.
Yeah.
So they got like 5 cops on every job. It's great. But all these cops are talking about this place, Fat John's, which is right on the street we're working on. This place is in a VFW. It's in like a white barn.
I seen the videos.
Yeah,
That's
it's
great.
insane. You can't find your way in this place. You walk in, it's pitch black. There's like, you don't know what's going on. Like, you just follow the light to
Really?
like the kitchen. And then someone takes your order.
Really?
Yeah, it's insane. It's wild.
How was the sandwich?
It was banging, dude.
Really?
It was they used Lissio's rolls, which are my favorite rolls.
Seated or unseated?
Seated.
That was good. That's a good choice.
So good. Yeah. The guy let me back there, let me like watch him cook, hooked me up with a shirt. Yeah, they're awesome. So I told him I told him I shout him out on the podcast. So there you go.
Awesome. Yeah, Fat John's.
Yeah.
How about me wearing my Gen X shirt? Like that.
Shout out to Gen X.
Shout out to the people that push shit on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and assholes like me.
Yeah.
Buy it.
Made in China.
You're welcome. Probably. This might be though like Honduras or something. Yeah. We're friends with them now, I think. I don't know.
Whatever.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So let's get back to a policy that was put into place by the federal government. It's the Treasury Offset Program, which allows the federal government to collect debts by garnishing wages. They're going to implement this program with student loans. 5 million borrowers that are in default will now be subject to wage garnishment up to 15% of their paycheck. How do you feel?
All right. Let me start with this whole notion that they passed about loan forgiveness was about the friggin' dumbest thing they could have done in history. One of the dumbest things.
It was it confused a lot of people.
Yes,
they didn't know what to do.
And all people heard was, I'm going to go to college, and I went to college, and all my loans are free. Now, how fair was that to the millions of people that signed the same paperwork that them people signed and had to pay back them loans? Like my wife, who it took, when I met her at the time and she was in her 30s, was just paying off her student loans. But she did it because she signed a paper saying, I promise to pay this back. Now, them passing that law screwed people. Again, watch who you vote for. See what's happening right now, because things will change and common sense will kick in. Do I think they should pay these loans? Yes. Now I'm going to be careful with how much they garnish. I don't think people should listen. These people voted and wanted this and voted that way because they thought this was never good. This was the best thing since sliced bread, and they're going to get out of their money and it'll be debt free and blah blah blah. So I don't think they should be punished for it. I think they should have to pay it back. I think there should be a easy way to do it for them, like a very timid way. Like, I don't know, how much would 15% be? So 15% of $1,000 is what, 150?
Yep.
Okay, so 150.
$600 a month.
Yeah, I would go less than that. I mean, give them a chance. You know what I mean? Let them make money. Let them have a living. But garnish the way. Maybe I would even drop it to say like 5%, and then maybe take a percentage of their tax return. You know,
they are going to take.
Well, they're going to garnish the whole thing.
Yeah, they are going to.
If they're going to garnish wages, that means the IRS is taking it all.
Mm-hmm.
So I say no. Don't take it all. Just a little bit at a time. Plus, give them the option to consolidate the loans or whatever debt and make cheap payments. So you give them that opportunity. But I wholeheartedly feel that they should have to pay this money back. 100%.
And you think it's okay to garnish to some extent the wages?
Well, you're going to have 5 million people going into filing bankruptcy.
Can I tell you? So you talk about the pandemic and the confusion that the 100% student loan forgiveness kind of caused, right? A lot of people just stop paying on their loans because they're like, well, I'm not paying on it if they're about to forgive them all.
Well, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That happened to a lot of people.
Yeah.
But
which is what it mentions in that
but
article.
When you're 17 years old and you sign up for a $120,000 loan for 4 years of college or whatever, even more, 160, 200, 250, depending on where you go, it's monopoly money. At 17, you have never, ever experienced paying a loan like that, ever. You know, you couldn't have unless you bought a house when you were 16, which is, I don't think anyone has done. I mean, I'm sure some people have, but.
Right.
So you don't have to touch the loan until you graduate. So for 4 years, you're just getting this money. There's money going into your account. And you don't have to pay back. You don't even have to think about it. They don't even send you a letter. Nothing.
Right.
Then you graduate and you have some time before you have to start paying it back.
Yeah.
And then they make it extremely easy to put your loan in forbearance, right? So you could put it off. Look, I need a year.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get a job, whatever, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you can go up to 2 years, I think, for forbearance, right, Lo?
I'm not sure.
I think it's up to 2 years. You can put you don't have to think about it, touch it. They won't even call you, right? So now you went 4 years without paying on this loan. Now you're going another year after you graduate, and then you put it off for another 2 years. So now you have this money for 7 years that you never even had to think about. In those 3 years from college, right? Now you do get a job.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And you don't think about your loan because you're not thinking about your loan.
Right.
You're thinking about, I want to get a car. I want to get a house. I want to find a wife. I want to, whatever. And a lot of people make these like big decisions, make big purchases in this forbearance period. And then what happens is in 3 years or whatever, then they're like, oh, hey, you want your student loans next month. Or you could put it into forbearance for financial hardship.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, forbear it again.
Yeah,
right?
there's a banner.
And you could
just keep banner test or something like that.
And you
We're
could
talking
just
about.
keep going and going and going, right? And then eventually they're like, "This is your last forbearance. Now you have to start paying."
Mm-hmm.
So for a lot of these people, I mean, you're talking from the time you graduate, you're like almost at like a decade with these loans, and you're not even like bothered by it. They're not even calling you. They're not emailing you. There's nothing. Right. And now all of a sudden you have a $600 a month payment, and people are like, "Fuck that." And that is why these student loans are so hard for people to pay back, because by the time they get to starting to pay them back, they are so far removed from college and thinking about it and the loan that they're like, man, I gotta fucking pay this money.
See, I don't as somebody who struggles to pay back student loans, I never went into forbearance.
But you could have been, and I think a lot of Americans, a lot of student loan borrowers did take advantage of the forbearance.
So I see,
because they offer it to you. Like they're like, well, because they'll do this. Like, well, what can you pay? I don't know, $70 a month.
How about they start here? Don't you think colleges have enough friggin' money? Why are they charging so? I mean, do you think it's a fair price?
No, I mean, look at every time the economy goes to shit, drive through a college town, and they're just build. You're
100% right. So honestly, you want to talk about money as power? How much power do you think these schools and these colleges hold?
Yeah, no, it's
in
a
the
ton.
country?
It's insane. They have lobbyists like Harvard, like they have boosters like big pharma, that are boosters for like Harvard.
Yeah,
and it's affecting their studies. And you hear about these Harvard studies,
right?
And they're sponsored by big pharma.
Don't you think you would have more doctors, nurses, teachers, like lawyers? Like really people with really good jobs if it didn't cost as much to do it. Like you still have to have the intelligence, your grade point average, but
no, they make it look like it's not a cost. That's the thing. That's the thing about it. They don't really prepare you for the amount of money.
But it's happened to enough people that I'm sure they look back and go, don't go that direction because this is going to screw you.
Yeah, but if you're smart enough to be a doctor, like you're going to be making money. And
yeah, but they
don't
have
care
to pay,
about.
They pay them off.
Yeah.
They pay. I mean,
well,
they
Dr. Kyle,
they'll probably be like 35, 40 years old before their loans are paid off.
I mean, I'm going to be
Easily.
38. I'm going to be 38 on Saturday, and I'm not even close.
Right.
My calculator has me at 59 years old.
Yeah, it's forever. It's a forever loan. It's one of them things that you just pay it, and it's like it's just like forget about it, money.
So how does that So how does it fucking make sense that you got this degree to make money to be successful and get ahead, but you're paying for it for the rest of your fucking life?
That's kind of my point. Is you don't consider that when you're considering your means, right? Because like I said, they make it so easy to just put off and forget about, and they make it like such a non-issue that people just don't even like a lot of people don't even factor it into their budget.
Right.
You know what I mean? They just don't. But we're a little off track here. I do want to get back to this wage garnishment.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of make it seem like monopoly money when you're in college. Like they make it seem like nothing when you're in college. Then you did have this whole entire like 4 years of this like cock tease of student loan forgiveness. I know a lot of people are paying them back. Like I started paying mine back as soon as I saw like, all right, these aren't getting forgiven. Like I'm just gonna start paying them back again.
Yeah.
So like this wage garnishment is not going to affect me. Like I make my payments, but don't you think this is like taking into consideration what they do to give you the loan, like to approve, like they're approving these loans. They don't have to say, yes, here's your money. They're approving them. Don't you think it's a bad precedent to send that they're just dipping their hands literally in your pocket to take their money? Consider this. Sallie Mae was a student loan provider. They were totally private, totally public from 2000 to 2014. In 2014, Sallie Mae split into two entities. One was Navient, and that turned into, that was all their student loans. And then the other part was still Sallie Mae, that's their private loans. So the student loans that are now Navient were taken by the federal government. So the federal government went to a public company, took the loans, and now they're going in your paycheck and taking the money.
So the federal government paid the colleges off?
They paid the loans. So they paid the loan provider, Sallie Mae.
Well, I'm talking about this. So is that what happened? That the government's garnishing these wages because they went ahead and paid for the debt?
I'm trying to make it's not just the Sallie Mae.
Right.
But Sallie Mae was a public company.
Mm-hmm.
And the government absorbed the debt. And now they're saying, okay, pay the federal government back. And now 10 years later, they're saying we're going to start garnishing your wages for this debt that we collected from Sallie Mae. So what if, right? What if Discover Card said, hey, government, you want to take over some of this debt? And the government says, yeah, sure, we'll take some of that credit card debt. And then they start garnishing those wages. What if the mortgage companies, what if Gateway Mortgage decided to sell Gateway Mortgage to the federal government and it turned into a federal government? And now they say, look, you don't even have to worry about paying this bill. We'll just take it right out of your paycheck. Don't even worry. And now take it a step further. What if every single bill you had was just taken out of your paycheck? What if you got approved?
Yeah, I want to say there's got to be a law in place that it can only go so far.
Yeah, but this is so there's a saying, and it goes something like this: when you let the camel stick its nose in a tent, its body soon will follow. Right? And this is letting the camel stick its nose in the tent.
Yeah.
It is, and the body will soon follow. You think that these other businesses that carry these huge debts
Aren't listening to that?
Aren't looking at this and saying like, "Whoa,
yeah,
we can garnish wages now." What if it turns into like this totally cashless society, which is kind of happening anyway?
Mm-hmm.
But what if it turns into like you just get a line of credit from a credit company, and your paycheck just goes directly to them? You know, what if you get approved or denied on loans based on what is left of your paycheck after the rest of your loans come out? Well, how much a percentage of your paycheck is left? And you never even have to look at your paycheck. If you want food at a grocery store, you put it on your card, which is coming right out of your paycheck anyway. And they take their minimum payment, and you're just constantly on this revolving system of just payments.
That's a scary
and
thought,
you're just,
actually.
Well, that can happen. This is step one.
I mean, I guess another thought I had is what they could do is just say, all right, fuck it. You know, this is what was promised to you. It doesn't make sense. Congratulations, you don't have to pay back your debt. Starting now, there's no more loan forgiveness.
Okay, but why? They could just incentivize it. What if they did this, right? What if they did this? What if they said, look, the average interest rate for undergrad is 6.5% to 8%. What if they said, look, we're gonna put this down to 1%. Okay, so now all your minimum payments, right? If you keep your payments the same, a huge portion of it is going to the principal, and you can actually see that number start to drop. You don't think that would incentivize people to make these payments? What if they say we're going to do this for 10 years?
Are they putting interest on these payments?
Oh yeah. Oh, it's 8% interest. And they're not saying, hey, we're going to lower the interest rate. Like part of attaching an interest to a debt is a protection against people that aren't going to pay it, right?
Yeah.
So now you're getting 8% of mine because Lou's not paying, right? So Lou's not paying, so like my 8% and his 8% and his 8% and his 8%, and you get enough 8% and it equals Lou's money, and they can like, you know, they recover their money like that. But if you're saying that you're going to garnish wages from everyone who's in default, so if you're not in default, then that means you're making payments. So if they're going to garnish 15% of wages from people in default, then they're recovering like got to be close to 100% of this money. So what is the point of an 8% interest if you're getting all of this payback?
I don't know. I can't say I agree with that, with the interest. I mean, if you're going to pay it back, you pay it back. I don't see why you're going to garnish your wages and they're going to charge you interest. I don't agree with it.
Well, that's the big problem with student loans is the interest. Like that's what makes it so impossible to pay off. Like that when people are talking about canceling student loans, like it's the interest that is destroying people.
Right, because that's why. Because you see why. Because when they tack the interest rate on, the interest is what goes back first, right? And so that's why these banks these things will throw the money at you because they know they're going to get at the very least the interest.
Yeah, and that'll, like, for some people that's $700 a month. Purely in interest, and who can afford to pay more than that?
And when you're 17 and you hear 8% interest,
you don't
like
really
when you're
know
17 and you hear 8% interest on $100,000 loan, you're like, oh, it's an extra $8,000, whatever.
Right? You don't hear right.
You know what I mean? It's way.
Dude,
more
I thought I was going to pay off college in like 4 or 5 years.
That's whatever. I mean, I thought for the longest time that I would have enough money to make one lump sum and just pay it off.
I was going to be making $100,000 right out of college, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll make
$100,000. That's what everyone
I'll have
thought.
$80,000 in loans, 2 years, save up $50,000, boom, boom, paid."
That's the dream that they sell. You're going to make six figures and right out of college, and it takes a long time after you graduate to make 6 figures.
Yeah.
You know,
but nobody ever gets up and roar and says how these fucking schools screw you like that or lie to you like that.
It's I mean, it's not like I don't know who really you can blame for that. I don't know if it's the schools or the loan companies. Or the connection between the two.
I think colleges are like the biggest ripoffs in the world.
It's starting to come to light that they are. Like you got a guy like Jordan Peterson, for example, who is this like master professor at Harvard, who now started this online education. He's charging students, I think, $399 a semester. And you can graduate. It's an accredited college, and you could take these classes, and they have like the best professors around the entire world teaching these classes. Now, it's a lot of like philosophy and this and that. Like you're not going to get an engineering degree from there, But like you're going to see a lot more of these kind of.
Hopefully, you do start seeing it, and
then these college campuses are just going to be ghost towns. They're going to be the lost cities of Atlantis.
A nice way to circle back. I like that.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. I think colleges are the fucking biggest ripoffs in the world. Why not join the military?
Look, you
right? Go to the
yeah.
military for 4 years.
They'll pay for your college.
Pay for your college. You get a degree. You're getting paid while you do it, right? You're gonna get some good skills in life. Yeah, you're gonna put up some bullshit. It's the military, but then you come out in that 4 years and look around and look at your friends who just went to 4-year college and they're coming out with debt. You're not. You're going ahead and making a career and going ahead. What if you never had to pay for your bachelor's degree to be a cop? What if you just went in the military for 4 years, got your bachelor's degree through the military, came out, went through the academy and started working?
That's a whole nother thing. I mean, they're removing that. They're removing that from the requirements of being a cop now is a degree. Yeah, because they can't find cops.
No, I can't. Yeah, right.
Because who the hell wants to be a cop right now?
I actually love that idea, John.
What's that?
Like incentivize people to go the military right into the police route. Like they're going to be very well trained as well as you can be.
That's what recruiters do, and they think that the recruiters are lying. Yeah, some of the recruiters are bullshitting. They're going to fluff flowers up a little bit because they're not going to tell you, hey, you're screamed at, and they're not going to tell you all this shit. But a lot of what they're saying is true. There's a gunnery sergeant I watch follow on Instagram. My son got me following him. This guy is an amazing recruiter. He's probably the best I've ever seen as far as recruiting, and that's what he asks guys. He'll ask high school, "What are you going to do? You're going to pay for that and everything." He says, "What if I told you there was a way that you could do all that and not have to pay for it, and all you have to do is join the service and serve your country for 4 years?" Now, is serving your country the easiest thing? Fuck no, it's not. I mean, some branches of services are easier than others, but you can absolutely, to me, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I'll join the Air Force, right? It's nothing against the Air Force, but it's a little bit easier. It's a nicer way of living. You do 4 years, you get you get a degree in anything, and then you come out debt-free, and you walk into a job and make money.
It certainly helps the United States military out to promote it that way.
Now, the Marine Corps, here's what the Marine Corps don't tell you. Oh, we'll pay for college. Well, the Marine Corps only pays for 75% of your college, and you go to the college on your time.
Mm-hmm.
So you're taking a lot of night classes, stuff like that.
I think a lot of them.
And if you get deployed, like Air Force, you go.
They'll wipe out your debt. Like if you join a branch of military after college, they'll pay your loans.
Oh yeah, yeah. Now, like other branches of service, if you can go and like the Marines, if you get deployed, you can freeze it. Some branches of service, if you're in college and doing college, you won't get deployed. You're exempt. So, different branches have different things, but as a whole, I mean, it's a great idea. My son right now is, if he started going and just getting his bachelor's and like something along the line of what he's doing, he's got his certificate. By the way, he graduates next week. He'll get his technician.
Hoorah!
Yeah, he'll get his technician certification, and then he'll be going to Hawaii. He is coming home for a little bit. He'll be at his mom's for a while. He may come up for a couple days, hopefully before we leave for Italy, and that'll be great. But again, he has a job where he can now just walk out and walk into Lockheed, Boeing, and start with 6 figures, and he has no day. In fact, he'll have tens of thousands of dollars sitting in his bank.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
that's awesome.
I mean, listen. I pushed the military for a reason.
Well, everyone I know who did that, followed that path. I mean, they are wildly successful.
Yeah.
Look, you do meet some like assholes kind of that like got a really big head from being in the military.
Sure.
But the vast majority of the people that you meet, they are like really clean cut. They are really successful. They are making money with the military, money with their job. They're getting it's just all these benefits to it. And it's like, man, I mean, it is a pretty, it's starting to get more and more attractive, I think, to people, because you also have like you had like when you were a kid, like the vets were like old Yeah, I mean, like they weren't people you wanted to be like.
Yeah,
or like, not to say anything disrespectful.
The thought was it was like, oh, it's a veteran.
This shit's gonna fuck me up.
Or it's a veteran. He's 80 years old.
Yeah.
Now there's veterans like myself, other younger. We were, and let's face it, times have changed too, where people take care of their bodies more and everything like that. So now you're getting like 40, 50-year-olds that look. Yeah, and they're veterans, and right. It's a role model thing. They want to be like that,
and you get a lot better mental health now. Like these guys, they're not like just these like crazy cat people that are like, I can't be around society.
Right.
You know? I mean, like I'm sure there's some of that still, but like that was like kind of the picturesque of what a veteran was when we were younger.
Right.
You know, and I think the military is doing a great job of PR because that tide is totally changed.
It has.
Yeah.
I mean, the skills that you learn are just something that you just don't learn anywhere else in life. You learn such discipline, such way of dealing with things. You learn to let things bounce off you because you're like a fucking immune to it at times. It teaches you such good skills. It has benefited me my entire life up until this day. It really has. I mean, and not to mention the benefits in schooling and career you can have. It's a death. But I'll tell you what, I mean, this debt loan thing, boy, it's
scary. It's a slippery slope.
It's a definite slippery slope.
I mean, like people should be up in arms about this. You know?
Yeah.
No one, I mean, I feel like no one should agree with this because you don't know what coming next.
It passed? Was it an executive order or it passed through Congress?
I think so this was already in place, this Treasury offset program that allows the federal government to collect debts by garnishing wages. It was already in place, and they just applied the student loans to this program. Like they just lumped it in with this because it is a federal debt.
Right. So I'm assuming Congress passed this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's coming. Here's the thing too. Like it takes you 270 days of not paying this thing to be in default.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to go like almost a year without paying this, without even calling them, without like making some type of like earnest effort. 270 days, and then you're in default. And then after you're in default, you can go into this like loan rehab program, and if you make 10 consecutive payments, you are out of there. You're back in the good graces.
Okay.
You can do that one time, and then you have to go an additional 270 days without a payment, and then you're back in default, and then they're going to garnish your wages. So it is like you have to be a real jerk off for this to happen, but still.
But basically,
you don't want this to happen.
Yeah, basically they're saying start paying your debt.
That's it's almost like a scare tactic. Like But the fact that they're saying like we're going to go in and take it, that scares me.
Yeah, that does. Yeah. That you made a great point there. That is, because you do think so. I tell you what, you put a little wood on the ball sometimes.
Thanks.
Yeah, you do.
Appreciate it.
You like that term, Lou? You don't like it? No. Okay.
A wood on the ball.
Yeah, a little wood on the ball. Yeah. All right.
We don't have to cut that. It's okay. Dumb thing of the week to close.
Yeah, sure. Let's close with little dumb things of the week.
So on Wednesday, we had 37 trucks to pave a 3.1 mile road. Yeah. So it was 4,000 tons we had to pave.
Yeah.
We were like rolling, dude. Like absolutely rolling. Like the company was like, no, we're getting this. We're doing it. I don't care. Hardly. I mean, it was just a straight run.
That's
like
great.
Just beautiful. I mean, like the paver, it was like 2 intersections. They weren't even intersections. It was like 1 foot in. They had a secondary paving machine that was just hop to each intersection, so they never even had to pick up. No joints in this road. Just
buggy.
Yep, buggy. I mean, it was beautiful, but we couldn't guarantee we would be off the road by 6 p.m. And the county wanted us. They said, no, you absolutely have to be off the road.
Burlington's tough.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's our first road that
shout out the commissioner.
Yeah, it's the first road that we're paving on this big, enormous project. It's like 80,000 ton project.
Mm-hmm.
We did what's 4,000 ton? I mean, well, the whole job is 8,000 tons. So we're doing
4,000 tons.
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah, we're doing that
in one day.
Yeah, and this is the biggest road. Yeah. We had 37 trucks. It's 4.5 rounds a piece going to and from Hamilton, and we weren't sitting at all. They were hardly sitting at all. Like we weren't even. I mean, they did it right. And dude, we probably got 3,500 tons done, maybe more. And then we had to stop shipping at 4:00 to make sure we were off the road at 6.
Right.
And it was like, man, we were just so close. We had to shut the big intersection down, because the trucks were approaching the intersection. So I had to shut it down because the line for the truck. So we had to like fuck traffic up to shut this huge intersection down. There's a school on one side of it, a Wawa on the other side of it. And like we knew it was coming, but it was just it's supposed to be like one day. Like, you know, you mill, you shut it down, you open it back up, you pave, you shut it down, you open it back up. But we had to shut it down because we were approaching it as we were getting our last trucks, and I had to shut it down to keep traffic safe. Like we got almost right up to the light. And then the next day we had to come in and we had to shut it down again and finish like we were done by 11 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
So I thought that was the dumb thing of the week. Like they should have just let us finish.
Were you the one to tell me that Burlington is like they don't let you have to you tear up one side, pave one side.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it's just you can't. So you can mill as much as you want. You can mill the whole thing and then pave the whole thing. But it has to be closed up by the weekend.
Okay.
So what we're doing is mill 2 days as much as we can, pave 2 days as much as we can.
Right.
And then Fridays for like, oh fuck, something happened.
Right.
Yeah. Or we could do restoration or driveways or whatever.
Or be off.
Or be off. Like this right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my dumb thing of the week is like we got like I mean you could see the end and we couldn't finish because of the time restrictions, which sucked. Which I mean I get it, I understand, but it was just dumb that we had to stop.
Yeah. You could have finished the whole job.
Could have finished it.
Yeah, could have finished. Well, I don't have a dumb thing. What I do have is a really important thing. Guys, listen, if you can real quick, go to my personal Facebook page. I have a petition out right now to help veterans in South Jersey. This is try to bring a VA medical facility, which is be extensive outpatient treatment. It's treatment that veterans in South Jersey can only get in Philly and PA. So please, if you're behind this and you want to help veterans in South Jersey, go to my page and look and sign the petition, please.
Well, I'll certainly visit your page and check it out. So
thanks, brother.
Yeah. Is that all we got?
I think it is. I think that's going to wrap it up for episode 46 for Two in a Blue. I am John Flounder, Stevie D, Big Lou. Don't forget, like, follow, subscribe, get in the comments. Hey, Dad, how we do?
I think there's something wrong with you.